This is my first play of my NFL career right here. First play, Key. This is it. My first play. But I knew I had to go make this play. I said, if I don't go down and make this tackle, they won't even know me. I would just be a guy on this team. They won't even know my name. And so I had to go make that tackle to make the coaches notice me on that field. And that was my way to becoming a running back, man, going to make a tackle.
Hey, out there, what's going on? It's Keyshawn. We got another episode of All Facts and No Breaks. But before we get going, I want to remind you all to follow All Facts Pod on social media and wherever you get your podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube. We need to hit 100,000 subscribers, so I appreciate it if those of you that are listening or watching dial in and join the subscription. Also, Denver Broncos legend, Hall of Famer, the great Terrell Davis, 2,000-yard rushing Terrell Davis, will have a conversation with me later on in the show. So thanks a lot again. But first, what's up?
What's up? Well, something that happened recently was the VP debate. How did you feel about that? You got any thoughts on that? I'm not really a political person, I'm going to be honest. But...
So you're talking about the vice president's debate with Governor Walz and Senator Vance.
Right.
I watched it. I snoozed at it. It wasn't exciting. It was a little bit of a sleeper. But, you know, the political side of things, it wasn't as exciting as the presidential debate. That's for damn sure. Still, you know, it's political. Mm-hmm. You got to know there's a lot of fact checking that goes on. There's a lot of misinformation on both sides, misleading information on both sides. You know, I vote for who I vote for. I am who I am. But at the same time, I like to get all the what little knowledge I could get from everywhere. So I'm flipping through post the debate. I'm going to flip through CNN, Fox News, MSNBC. I'm going to just go, you know, I'm going to go to all of it
just
to
check
hear
it
what
all.
Yeah, because I want to hear what all of them got to say. Because I
can't be on one channel because they're kind of biased sometimes, right?
No, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
So I listen. So if I'm going to go at the debate is shown across many different networks and platforms. But when it's over with and then the spin room and the post debate conversation, so I can move from CNN, MSNBC, Fox News to hear what all they got to talk about, right? The people on CNN, they got one thing they want to say.
Right.
Then the people on Fox News, they got another thing they feel like. Then the people at MSNBC, they got it. And so I try to, I don't know, play with my own mind and say, well, is that really what he said? Is that really what he's saying? Is that really what they thought? And it becomes interesting to me from that standpoint because the policies are the policies, right? At the end of the day, the policies are not going to be the same. The Republican side is going to think one thing. The Democratic side is going to think another. And so what they're trying to do at this point is get the people to lean toward them. That's right in the middle. And it's interesting because at the end, when they're in the post of the debates, they always go to a focus group. And the focus group probably has 8 people, maybe 10 to 8, somewhere in that number. And then they ask them to grade or talk about what they heard in the debates. And you always, you know, it's always somebody up there that doesn't really want to say who they're leaning toward now because they're being watched by however many people that may be family and friends that they're not disclosing, you know, who they want to go vote with, take the vote to, be a part of. So they kind of just sit back. But it was interesting because one guy, he heard Governor Walz say whatever he said, so it made him lean toward that side of the party where in the past he was leaning toward the other party.
Okay.
So it's just like, but
yeah,
it was a snoozer for me.
All right, well, let's talk politics.
Don't get nervous.
I don't want to. Davante Adams landing spots are the Jets, Steelers, Saints, and Cowboys. and apparently he's not playing this Sunday due to a hamstring injury. Is that a real injury, or like all of a sudden
of course it's a real injury. He's
injured?
been injured before, so there's no rush back, especially if he's on the trading block. You don't want him out there, Keyshawn, and something happens and his value decreases. So you want to try to be as cautious with him as possible. And I think that's what the Raiders are doing, is they're going to be cautious with him until he's ready to play, but they're probably looking to move him before he's actually ready to get back on the field so he can play for the next team healthy. Because the trade deadline is November, I feel like it's November 5th.
Yeah, it's like week 9 or 10, right? 10 or...
I think it's November 5th.
Okay, well, out of those teams, the Jets, Steelers, Saints, and Cowboys, who do you think is a good spot for him?
I think it's the New York Jets. You got your familiarity with the quarterback, familiarity with Lazar, familiarity with the offensive coordinator. They need a big dude on the outside. Garrett Wilson's a smaller, light, slight kind of receiver, but really good. But he needs a veteran that can play at a high level to teach him how to be the next guy. So I think the Jets is prime, and they need it. This is a big situation for the Jets. They're right there in the thick of things. The Saints can use him too, though. The Saints are Chris Olave and company, and you got Derek Carr there that he played with. It's kind of similar situations because both coaches on the hot seat.
What about like the Steelers to trade someone like a Russell Wilson? What?
He probably ain't. Davante probably like, nah, I'm good.
Good on fields?
Because they're going to run the ball and play defense. That's what they're going to do.
Yeah.
They're going to run the ball. They're going to play smash.
They do have they have an identity.
Yeah, I ain't trying to go there if I'm a receiver, man. What the fuck I want to go play for that?
Well, I feel like at his years, he's trying to win a championship now. It's not even about getting the ball. Like, if he's trying to leave the Raiders, like the money was there,
but
right?
The championship, if I don't get the ball and I don't help us win, I don't contribute, how we going to win a championship?
He going to contribute when he can.
No, but when he can, that ain't the way it work with receivers.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
No, we need to touch the ball early and often.
Well, speaking of the Steelers, Mike Jones, who's the Athletic, he's a writer. He surveyed players on which cities they least enjoy traveling to, and the Steelers got the worst one. They said they have the worst locker room in the NFL. They said the locker room smells like, and I quote, piss. So, Dad, what was? Well, it said apparently it smells bad. It smells like piss.
I'm trying to think. I don't remember.
What was the worst visitor locker room you think you had?
The worst visiting locker room at the time had to be the New England Patriots, because it was the old stadium. Had to be the worst locker room at the time. It had to be.
Just because it was old?
It was old. It was small. I'm trying to think. Was it?
You get the. What about college? Because I know
it could have been Green Bay, San Francisco, because it was Candlestick Park.
Yeah,
Candlestick
it was old.
Candlestick was horse shit.
What about Oakland?
Oakland was horse shit.
Coliseum.
Most visitor locker rooms though are not nice. They just not. It's not plush. It's not. They just lockers and that's it. But if my memory serves me correct, New England, Oakland, and San Francisco might have been the worst 3 locker rooms from a visitor standpoint that I could think of. Maybe like even Buffalo. Like a lot of those old stadiums were just terrible.
I feel that. So earlier, you got the chance to talk to Broncos legend Terrell Davis. Let's take a listen to that.
Joining us now is exceptional Hall of Fame running back, former running back of the Denver Broncos, 2-time Super Bowl champion. In fact, he had to go through me and my team in 1998 to get that second ring. What's up, TD?
What's up, Key? How you doing, man?
Man, I'm good. Let's just say that. I am having fun out here in Southern California and enjoying, mild success in television, I would say. And other than that, all good.
All good. Well, I do apologize. We didn't mean to do that to you guys in 98, man, but we had to do it to you, right? I mean, you guys, I think you guys were up 10-0 on us at halftime, wasn't it?
Man, we should have went up. We should have gone up 17-0. And I believe Keith Byers or somebody fumbled going in. And we go up. If we go up 17-0, we get the ball coming out the second half. And we kicked off, and then y'all wind up landing on the fumble. And then all of a sudden, I think they threw a post to McCaffrey, and then Terrell Davis on the left side on the toss sweep, and the rest was history. We never rebounded from that at all. But, things happen and whatnot. So let's jump in to why you joining us today. You're teaming up with Wells Fargo to bring financial education to the student athletes of the world. Why is this work so important to you and inside of you and dear to your heart?
Yeah, for me, man, I'm just a guy that when I have knowledge or an experience about doing something, it's always rewarding to be able to pass that down to young people, right? And so with this, teaming up with Wells Fargo, we're helping all the student athletes and their families really get the financial resources that they need. The education comes with that. And so I think this is important for a number of reasons. Number one, having gone through this myself, Keith, like in college, coming out, not having any financial education about what to do with our money when I got that first check, and then watching so many horror stories with some of our peers. And right now I'm a partner in a financial management firm. And so this has always been something on the top of my mind. And now I get a chance to work with Wells Fargo and to help student athletes alike really, manage their money, really understand the potential power that they have right now in their college years. And then with NIL, it's a lot that comes along with that. So trying to avoid those pitfalls and really understanding the importance of financial empowerment. Something we're working on. Now, this is great because this is for all student athletes. This is not just for the student athletes at University of Georgia, but they can tune in because tonight we're going to my alma mater, Georgia, and at 7:00 we'll be having a conversation with the Wells Fargo executive, and anybody can watch it. Any student athlete around the world can watch that. There it is right there. Check it out. You can go to georgiadogs.com, or you can go to UGA's Facebook as well to listen to this conversation. You got to hear it, man, because there's things in here that we'll talk about that can actually impact your life in a really good way. So check it out.
You are also mentoring Georgia running back Rob Robinson, who actually is from the San Diego area. I don't know how he wound up at UGA from San Diego, but I can only imagine with the NIL situations in the world going on right now. A little different than you because you started off going to college in Los Angeles area and then transferring, but a little different now.
Same thing. It ain't where you stop along the way. It's where you start and where you finish. We both started in San Diego. We both went to the same high school, Lincoln High School.
Okay.
By the way, same high school as Marcus Allen in San Diego. By the way, state champs who won, that was 2 years ago, they won state in football. So we need some help too, by the way. I'm going to put this out there because Lincoln High School, the football field is terrible, and we got to get a better field and help out with that. So I'm getting behind that effort to try to raise some money so we can get that field back up and running. But anyway, Rod, I'd actually listen. I would think that I had some influence on him coming to Georgia, and that's why he chose that, because we talked about that a little bit.
How are you? Because I'm involved in the collective helping USC out from an NIL standpoint as of right now. How are you getting involved in the NIL space in teaching the young men that come up with these big money contracts or whatnot, endorsements, on how to, manage that money at such a young age?
It's not so much like how to manage it. It's like the tackling and blocking of finances, right? It's Keyshawn, when you get your first check, it's don't look to spend it, right? Don't try to look across and see what everybody else has, and now you're already spending the money before you even get it.
Well, too late for that.
No, but I'm just saying, because it's tempting, right? Like have a plan. Like you have to earn your wants. What I mean by that is take care of your needs. If you want something, earn it. Save for it, budget for it. Say, all right, I'm not going to go out as much, so I'm going to reduce my spending at restaurants so I can put that in the category for some of my wants. So my needs are taken care of. My wants. It's just stuff like that, man. It's just basic financial education. things that I wish I knew. Another example is don't, instead of putting your money into a checking account, put your money into a high yield savings account, right? Make a little bit more money. Or it's just little things you can do to tweak to be better financially, educated and aware.
Yeah. So something happened last week to your UGA Bulldogs. They took a tough loss down in Bama. Just one loss on the season. Are they in trouble right now, or it's just a little bump in the road?
If this was last year, they would have been in trouble. But it's not last year. It is this year. And because we have 12 teams in the playoff, it is the perfect sort of scenario for them, right? They lost the game early to a really good team. Their aspirations of making it to the conference championship, they're still there. This was just an adjustment for them. I think if they take this game and remember how it felt to lose this game and use that as fuel going forward, they play Texas in a few weeks. If they can go down to Texas and take care of business, they're back in this thing. So they're not out of it, man. I think this is why I love this 12-team playoff. I just love it. I don't like the fact that
playoff is great.
I love it. Yeah, I don't like the fact that you lose a game early in the season and you get punished for that for the rest of the year. And then there's only 4 teams going in. So, I mean, you got 100 or something college programs. Like, that's just not a big enough field for me. And now we're at 12, which I know I'm going to love it. I can't wait for it to go to 16, to be honest with you, because I know that's where it's headed.
Yeah, because it's almost like the NC2A tournament, though, right? You could lose multiple games throughout the season, and then all of a sudden, you might be in the Elite 8. You might qualify for the Sweet 16 or the Final Four. And throughout the course of the season, you struggle. But when you get into March Madness, all of a sudden you are a different team. It's almost like us in the NFL to a degree, right? You wind up at, when we were 9-7, because we only played 16 games, you 9-7. You're trying to get into the tournament. That's all that really matters, is getting into the tournament. And speaking of getting into a tournament, what's your a view of what's going on with your former team in the Denver Broncos and quarterback Bo Nix and the way Sean Payton has approached this season opposed to last?
Yeah, I think it was. I'm back in Denver, so.
Is that where you're living at now?
Yeah, I'm back in Denver. I'm back in Denver.
Okay.
So.
All right.
So
I thought you was around the corner from me still. I hadn't seen you, so I just figured. I'm like, oh, maybe he's out here where I'm at.
No, man, we left there in 2021, man. We're back in Denver, man.
Okay.
So there is a bit of excitement about Bo Nix coming in to be this quarterback. Obviously, we had been struggling with quarterbacks for the last 7 or 8 years, and Denver hasn't been winning a lot of games. So bringing in Bo Nix, I think a lot of excitement. Watching him the first 4 games, obviously, when you watch him, you look at him, you say, okay, he's a top 12 pick, and you just want to see him. You want to see moments. That's what I'm looking for. I want to see moments and throws in a game where, okay, I think he has it in him, and that's what I've been looking for the first couple of weeks. He hasn't played terrible, but he hasn't played great the last couple of weeks either. And I know he's a rookie, and so I give him that kind of grace to say, all right, he's a rookie. Let's just play this thing out, not just rush to judgment and see where he's going to be. We got to score more points is the bottom line, though. Got to score more points. Got the Raiders this week. Defense has been playing lights out, but I think he's got he's got to play a little better, and he needs help around him. The run game is starting to get better, but the run game needs to help him out as well.
What's your thoughts on the way things ended with Russell Wilson in terms of him not being a Bronco after getting a big check, but then they decided to write a check basically for $20+ million and say bye-bye. Now he's basically a backup in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I think we all. I was a little disappointed in what I thought. He came in and we were expecting the Russell of that was in Seattle, and for whatever reason, you can blame it on coaching, you can blame it on system. It just never materialized. So that was my biggest disappointment, that when he got to Denver, we didn't see Russell that we saw in Seattle, and we never had a chance to benefit from that. And he was there for 2 years, and it just seemed that at some point we were never going to get that. And I think that's why Sean Payton made that move, was because we weren't going to get that quarterback that we all had loved in Seattle and thought he was bringing that to Denver. So I like Russell. I know him personally, man. So I feel bad for him, and I just feel bad that he was never able to come to Denver and to elevate the program like so many quarterbacks have done. Peyton came in and did that, and maybe he was looking to try to, hopefully that was what he was trying to model, but it just never worked out, man. So I just felt like a little disappointed for him, and a little disappointed for Denver for not having that quarterback.
Yeah, before you became Terrell Davis, the great Denver Bronco Hall of Fame running back, 2-time Super Bowl champion, you were and I didn't even really know this, in 1995, you were I would call it a preseason special team tackling machine, so to speak. In 1995, you played on the special teams in the preseason game and went down the field and made a tackle on special teams. What's your view?
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
there you go. Oh, look at you. That was before you became TD, the toss sweep to the left or right guy. What you think about the new rules on kickoff now?
Well, I'm happy they put some type of version of it back in play. I'm glad they're kicking the ball off, this dynamic return or kickoff, they call it. It's there now. Now you're not going to get that hit. You're not going to get that hit again, because now these guys are so close to each other. It's hard to beat the blocker. That was a traditional kickoff, so I had a chance to run past the front line and the guy who was trying to block me. And I knew, man, this was my first play of my NFL career right here. First play, Key. This is it, my first play. But I knew I had to go make this play. I said, if I don't go down and make this tackle, they won't even know me. I would just be a guy on this team. They won't even know my name. And so I had to go make that tackle to make the coaches notice me on that field. And that was my way to becoming a running back, man, going to make a tackle.
Yeah, you made that tackle and you became one of 8 in NFL history to rush for 2,000 yards in a single season. Do you think that we'll see another running back in our lifetime rush for 2,000 yards with the way the offensive game in the NFL is now?
I don't. No. Just there's too many factors working against that now. No coaches are coming in wanting to run the ball. Running backs are being platooned in and out, and the patience of a coach who's trying to make it to the next level, like a coordinator is trying to be a head coach, or a head coach trying to be, or a position coach trying to be a coordinator. The best way you get there is throwing the football and showing how great you are with a quarterback and throwing the ball. Yeah, you rarely see a coach get elevated because he's got a top running game. And Keyshawn, it's too expensive. With the time it takes to run the ball and be proficient, takes too much time, too many days of hitting with pads. It's too much to invest in, and not really see the benefits of that as quickly as you can with throwing the football. It's just more efficient. It's just, you can practice throwing the ball without even having organized practices. So you can do that and have a good passing game. So no, I don't think it's going to happen again, man. Not in my lifetime. It could, but I doubt it. I don't think it is.
How hard was it though to rush for was it hard to rush for 2,000 yards? I mean, it looked easy to me. It looked easy to me when I'm watching you and AP do it. It looked easy.
What part of that looked easy?
Man, I played against you enough. It looked easy. It just looked like you could just roll out the bed and go for $150.
No, but what happens though is that it becomes contagious, and your offensive line recognizes that there's an opportunity there. Your wide receivers, coaches, tight ends, everybody recognizes that, hey man, we have something special here. We got a back that's just, he's getting chunk yards. Like, we come out of a game, there's 150 there, there's 200 there, there's 130, 140. So everybody gets vested in it, and they want it. They want to be able to say they blocked for a 2,000-yard rusher, and that's what happened with us during the season. The O-line was like, oh, you getting 2,000 yards whether you want it or not. That's the that's what they felt.
Yeah.
And then there's a level of consistency, and then you got to stay healthy and all that other stuff. There's a lot of factors, but my big thing, man, was just I wanted to be ready to play in the play. I just wanted to put our team in position to win games and be a number one seed so we can go through that playoff stretch. That was it. That was my only goal. And then we almost screwed it up playing against you guys, though. We almost screwed that one up.
Man, we had y'all. Man, it's interesting you say that. And I remember, we beat Jacksonville, obviously, in the divisional round, and then we go to Denver for the AFC Championship game, and it's Mile High, and it's the wind, and it's all the crazy thing. And I remember Parcells saying, you may never get back to this position ever again. Whoa. Make it your best. Because there's many guys that have never played in a championship game, let alone a Super Bowl, and there's many guys that just, haven't gotten to the playoffs and played a long time. It's people, this. There's guys that have never played in the playoffs but played a long time in the National Football League because they've been on bad teams. So you got to embrace the moment. And I literally, without scoreboard watching, I'm scoreboard watching because I see Minnesota had just lost to Atlanta, and we beat the shit out of Atlanta during the regular season. So the first thing I'm thinking before the game, I'm saying to myself, I'm young. So, I'm totally young. I'm like, yeah, I'm getting ready to go to Super Bowl. This shit get ready to be in Miami. It's going to be old and popping. We get ready to torch this motherfucking John Elway. He old. I'm thinking in my mind. That's the way I'm thinking out of the field. I'm like, Steve Atwater, he washed. Who was the safety?
You had Tyrell Braxton.
Brack is the safety.
Ray Crockett.
Croc, I'm like, oh, Croc, come on, man. And I'm thinking to myself, and then we get up 10-0. Now we look like we're going up 17-0. I'm just like, yeah, we getting the ball coming out in the second half. I had already started thinking mentally who I'm getting tickets for.
hey, the funniest thing is we thought the same thing. Yeah. We're in the locker room watching the game, and the minute Minnesota kicks that, Atlanta kicks that field goal.
Yeah.
We're like, oh man, we gonna smash Atlanta. That's what we weren't even thinking about you guys. We're like, oh yeah, we got this one. We gonna beat the hell out of Atlanta. Yeah. And sure, so we were so excited. We cheered.
Yeah.
We were celebrating when Atlanta beat the Vikings. We were celebrating in the locker room. So that was our mindset coming out to that game. And you always think, and you say y'all was thinking the same thing? Or you were thinking
I was thinking the same. I'm young though, it's just I'm in my third, fourth year in the league. I'm already, I'm thinking to myself, oh, okay. I'm getting ready to go and have success because in the divisional round, I torched Jacksonville. I scored every which way possible, interceptions, fumble recoveries. I was feeling good about my ability to play. And I knew, okay, they got Ray Crockett, they got Atwater. As long as I'm watching where he's at and he ain't gonna get no good shot of me. Short dog and Brack, he's small. I ain't worried about him. Romanowski, I ain't thinking of, I'm thinking in my mind as a shit talker mentally. I'm focused in, and I just thought, hey, it's one for the taking, but it didn't quite work out the way I wanted it to. But yeah. But thanks a lot, man. I appreciate you joining the show, Terrell. It means a lot to me, and it's always been a pleasure. And whenever I see you and the family and whatnot, it's always been a pleasure to me. And again, thank you and good luck with everything with Wells Fargo.
I appreciate it, Key, man. Good to see you, man. Good luck, buddy.
All right.
So now we got the game previews for the weekend. First one, we got Jets versus Vikings. It's kind of like a little revenge game for Sam Darnold. How do you feel about this game? What do you think's going to go down? I like the Jets.
Well, first of all, I'm going to wake up at 6:30 a.m. in the morning because they're over in London playing. You are looking at the money line and all the other stuff, I'm sure, as you're picking these games. You're not just picking them outright like being. It's okay.
No, it's spread.
Yeah, you're doing it that way. I like the Minnesota Vikings. I just like what they're doing. It's interesting because Brian Flores has never, or Aaron Rodgers, better yet, has never played against a Brian Flores-led defense, whether he was an a defensive coordinator or a head coach with the Miami Dolphins. He's never played against them. Brian Flores he does some interesting things defensively to confuse young quarterbacks. I wonder if he could do that against the Jets in Aaron Rodgers, who's a veteran, who's basically seen, I would say, everything underneath the rug.
Yeah.
But I'm taking the Vikings in this game.
Okay. Then we got Ravens, Bengals. Who do you think needs to win more?
I think they both need it. The Bengals probably need it a little bit more so they can get even. They're 1-3, where the Ravens are sitting at 2-2. But I feel like the Bengals, they don't want to go to 1-4. They need it a little bit more. You can go to 2-3,
Mm-hmm.
but if you go to 1-4, you can cancel Christmas.
Who do you got, though?
I'm taking the Ravens.
Okay, me as well. All right, so the Cowboys and Steelers. The Steelers are favored by 2.5, and it's the first ever Sunday night matchup in NFL history between the two teams.
Really?
Yeah, fun fact. So who do you got?
I'm taking the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Really?
The Dallas Cowboys are beat up, banged up. We don't know if Michael Parsons is playing. Lawrence is out. Brandon Cooks looks like he's going to miss this game. And all they got offensively is Ferguson, CeeDee Lamb. Defensively, they got some issues on that side of the ball. They're going up against a team that plays defense and likes to run the football and stop the run. The Cowboys don't run the ball well, and they don't stop the run. So this is going to be a repeat performance on the defensive side of the ball for them, like it was against the Saints and like it was against the Baltimore Ravens with a running style quarterback, much like Lamar Jackson they have in Justin Fields and Najee Harris. So I like the Steelers in this one.
Okay, and then last one we got Bills-Texans. The Bills are favored by 1, but Von Miller is suspended for 4 games for violating NFL personal conduct policy. What do you feel about that? You think that's gonna?
No, Von hasn't played well in the last couple of years. He's been hurt. He's been on and off the field. I don't think that that's a big issue. I like the fact that the Texans are rolling right now, and after losing to Minnesota and getting smacked upside the head against them, they bounced back and won the last game, and I think that they are just a better overall team than the Buffalo Bills. We saw the Bills get shellacked by the Baltimore Ravens in a must-watch game by the other night, and we all just sat there and was like, oh, my God, I can't believe that this just took place, but it did. C.J. Stroud along with Stephon Diggs. Speaking of revenge games, Stephon Diggs in a revenge game against the Buffalo Bills. You don't think he wants to show up Josh Allen?
Might go crazy.
Nah, I got him at about 6 for about 80-ish in the touchdown.
Okay, he's covering all his numbers if he does that. But my best bet of the week for this week is the Ravens -2.5. I feel the same way. I feel like the Bengals, it is a must-win thing, but I feel like the Ravens are rolling right now, and they cover 2.5.
So you 4-0?
4-0, yeah. So I had.
Are you winning money though? That's my question.
You've asked me this every week. Of course I am.
Well, you winning money, so you shouldn't be asking for money if you're winning money.
Oh yeah, I don't ask for money. We're good.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, so 4-0. We had the Eagles. We had over 46.5 for USC. We had BYU last week. So we're gonna go for 5-0 now. But let's talk about your players to watch. Who do you have?
I'm gonna take Dak Prescott. I'm gonna take Dak Prescott. He's going into Pittsburgh at night, Sunday night on NBC, Peacock, so to speak. He needs to have a big game. No Brandon Cooks, no strong running game. He needs to have one of them big monster Dak Prescott games. That's my player to watch.
Do you think the Steelers the Steelers defense is going to give him a tough time
I do think the Steelers
rush it? Like, you think they're going to blitz him a lot?
Oh, I don't think they need to blitz. I think they just do what they do, whatever that is. Their defense is solid and sound. And for him this is like one of those signature moments. We're struggling. Everybody's doubting us. We're light in the pockets. Everybody's saying we need help. Now he needs to just kind of have this is one of them big games. Everybody in the world will be watching. This is just a signature game for him.
So now we got call Keyshawn.
Hey, what's up, man? It's Keyshawn. Leave your name, where you from, and let us know how you feeling or what you want to know or talk about, okay? You might just be featured on the show if we select you. All facts, no breaks. Keep it under 30 damn seconds, too. And don't be all that craziness. Just talk clean and clear. Okay, bye. So here's the number to call Keyshawn, 915-295-3228. That's right, it's 915-295-FACT, which is 3228. That spells out fact. Make sure You subscribe to our YouTube channel if you want to be featured on this particular show. Let's take a listen to our first caller.
David Campbell from Philadelphia, diehard Keyshawn Johnson fan. I want to know your thoughts on the season where you had 100 catches and only 1 touchdown. Please explain that or talk about your thoughts on that season. Thank you. Bye.
That's the definition of a possession receiver?
No, definition of playing in a offense that if you didn't score from the 20 and out, you were not going to score. We're going to
run that Mike Allstott.
run, field goal. That's okay. That's what we just didn't. It wasn't something that Coach Dungy wanted to do. He just didn't want to throw the ball. He threw it, but from the 20 to the 20. So if you couldn't score outside the 20, you wasn't getting it at all. The touchdown that I did get, me and Brad Johnson changed the play in the huddle.
You're like, fuck this.
Yeah. Because if we would have kept on that same play, we wouldn't have beat Detroit. This was the last second touchdown that
I remember you jumped over.
I took off the dude's head.
Yeah,
bunny hopped him and mossed him up to get the touchdown. They were playing cover 2 man, and we kept calling. I don't know what the play was, but it kept running digs inside against cover 2. The dude's already sitting 10 yards inside of me, waiting on me to come in. I told Brad, I said, man, fuck that, man. I'm going back to the corner. Just stand in and let it go. He stood in. As soon as I pushed up and bent in and the corner went, I shot to the corner. Brad stood in, hit right in his face, threw it. I just took the bunny hop the dude, took it from him, saved the day. We wind up winning. We wind up winning the game, the whole deal. And Detroit was sorry, but I don't know, offensively, it was just a tough situation. They just didn't throw me the ball in the red zone. I wasn't tripping.
And that was late in the season when you got the touchdown,
it was late in the season when I scored the touchdown.
Is that frustrating, though? Like
No, I wasn't frustrated.
100 catches.
I wasn't paying attention to the pundits, though. I don't listen to what people, because they don't know what's going on.
You guys were winning, though?
Yeah, we were winning. Okay. We went to the playoffs.
Okay.
I went to the Pro Bowl, but it's just one of those deals where the philosophy was, as Derek Brooks would say, just get us 9, man. We got this. If we score 9 points, we're going to win the game. Yeah. That was the mindset and the philosophy was, if we get inside, we going to run. If Mike Allstott scores, great. And if he doesn't, we got Automatica. He's getting ready to kick the field goal. And that was
Automatica,
it. Yeah, he going to kick the field goal. So I know it's like, damn, he had 100 and something and 1 touchdown. Yeah. I
had 1,000 yards too, right?
Yeah, for sure. But if I'm the Lone Ranger out there and I'm the only person you throwing the ball to, literally the only person.
Because this was before you guys had like Keenan McCardle.
Yeah,
and all
this
that,
was
right?
before all that. I'm like, I line up. The whole defense look at me.
Tripled on.
I'm like, but people they don't, the social media world that we live in now, or the fans and people, they don't really understand all that.
They just lived it, so
they think you're sorry you ain't scored a touch. It's like, no, man, you don't understand.
I get
That's not what we do.
All right, one more question for Call Keyshawn.
Hey, Keyshawn, my name is Andre. I'm calling from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I just want to let you know, man, I've been watching you since you went to USC, and I stayed up the street. Mike Irvin was my next door neighbor, the playmaker. But man, you should be in the Hall of Fame too. I'm tired of all these other guys. They talking about T.O. and Ocho, Chad Johnson. You supposed to be a Hall of Famer too. Thank you. Have a good day.
You know what I think? I think you should be in the college Hall of Fame, but not the NFL.
Yeah, I do too. And I'll hopefully, before I check out this world, I'll get inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame.
You will.
But the only reason why it's a weird College Football Hall of Fame is just a weird voting. I don't know what the voting process is, but it's a weird process. It's not.
Aren't you an All-American like twice?
It's not a lack of. It's not a lack of production. It's not a lack. It's the way they voted. You can't be. It just It's 2-time All-American. Whatever, record-breaking, number 1 overall receiver, Rose Bowl MVP, Cotton Bowl MVP, Rose Bowl Hall of Fame, Cotton Bowl Hall of Fame, USC Hall of Fame. But it's the way they do the voting that gets people in. Ronnie Lott, Ronnie Lott was in the Pro Football Hall of Fame before he was in the College Football Hall of Fame.
Okay.
Ronnie Lott was like a 3-time All-American in college. It's just different the way they do it. That's all. You know,
Yeah.
as far as pro football go, one, I didn't play long enough.
Yeah.
I played 11 years. I still got close to 11,000 yards. I got 70 touchdowns and close to 900 catches. I did all of those things. But had I played 2-3 more years to get into the Hall of Fame, I'd been in the Hall of Fame. But that wasn't the reason I played, though.
I've had a debate with people online about this
Why?
when I was younger. I was like, 12.
They don't know what they're talking about.
I know, but my thing was maybe it was because the persona you had, like the fact that you quote unquote were a diva or something like that. So maybe that was a reason. But then
no, numbers wise,
because you look at numbers wise, there's people that have way less yards than you and are in the Hall of Fame. But I guess it's the era
way before me. When I retired, I was in the top 10. When I retired, I was in the top 10 of every receiving category in the NFL.
Right.
And I believe the only receiver at the time when I retired that was like one, maybe
like
two
Torrey
receivers
Holt up above you, right? And like
well,
Marvin Harrison.
Torrey Holt's got like 16,000 yards. He
I'm
played
saying
longer.
like those were the people in front of you. Like
No, I'm saying in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, when I retired, there was only maybe at the time 2 receivers in the Pro Football Hall of Fame at that time that had better statistical numbers than me.
Okay.
At the time that I retired.
Right.
But I'm going to get passed up over time. But when I retired, I was in the top 10 literally in every category. But because I only played 11 years, it's not going to happen. Had I played 13, 14, 15, like Torrey Holt played a long time. T.O. played, so their numbers are going to be gaudy, right? If you look at the greatest receiver that faced the earth in Jerry Rice, he played 22 years. If you took and sliced that 22 down, he'll basically have the same numbers as me if he played the same amount of years as me. But he played 22 years, so his numbers are going to be crazy, right?
How many more years do you think you could have got in?
I probably could have played 4.
4 more years? A decent football or
same
or
shit.
what Jerry Rice was doing?
Same shit, though. 4 more. I left the game because I got tired of playing.
I hear you.
But if I wanted to play, and I had a job offered at ESPN Sunday Night Countdown.
Yeah, you had to raise me.
Oh yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
And you think about it, had I continued to play, the numbers go up. We're not even having this conversation. But I never played the game of football to go into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and that's okay for people. Everybody does it differently. I played the game so that I can afford to take care of my family and my mom and get them out of poverty. That's why I played. I'll be the first to tell you, everybody,
you were just trying to get on Mulholland and Tarzana. You were trying to get right.
Yeah, I'm trying to get right.
Yeah,
I'm trying not to sleep in a car.
I feel you.
But people sometimes they don't understand that. They think, you playing to get, like, no, man, No, I like lobster and steak and roasted chicken and sushi and wine. I want a lifestyle.
I hear you.
Some people that are playing in done well in Pro Football Hall of Fame, they like to have my post career because it's pretty good.
Yeah,
pretty good post career. So it just depends on what you like. I think that's all
answer
for our callers, huh?
That's it.
No, it's a good answer, but it's a real answer. That's a wrap for today's show. Thanks again to Terrell Davis. Remember to follow All Facts Pod on all social media and all of our podcast feeds. And subscribe on YouTube. Until next time, peace.